As always, before you start any exercise that is new to you, you need to find out if your heart is okay, if your muscles are okay, if you don't have arthritis or heart problems, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. So it's always a good idea to visit your doctor so that they can do, an assessment of how you are doing. So be cautious and have fun when you choose exercises to do. I just finished teaching class outdoors with my class participants, but I want to show you some pretty cool thing my dad got. He is suffering with multiple myeloma and he still tries to exercise even though it's really hard for him. He will be 81 years old and he ended up with pneumonia and is in the hospital. But I want to show you, well, he's coming home actually. I want to show you that little machine there by the chair that he bought and he's been using. So I just want to give you a few ideas of things that you can do for cardio. Okay, so this thing is pretty light. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You can use it on the bed if you can sit on your bed, or you can have a chair that has support on your back. The pedals have these stripes, so you can put your foot there and be comfortable, so that you don't feel that your foot is going to come out. It's just very simple, and so you just go at it. Okay, so one thing I need to tell you about exercising with anything like a bike is the focus of your exercise is going to be cardiovascular. If you put more resistance on your bike, your heart rate is going to come up. If you put less resistance on your bike, your heart rate will come down. Because the movement that you do on your legs is just this. You're working the legs, don't get me wrong, but the focus of the exercise is not the legs per se, unless you had a lot of resistance and then you're pushing really hard, which you don't want to do because you can hurt your knees if you have a lot of resistance in any piece of equipment. One of those epilepticals, I call them the elliptical, well, it's the elliptical machine, I call them epilepticals. Anyway, so you don't want to put a lot of resistance on those. You want to change your pace. So if this machine becomes a little boring to you, use music of your liking. I find that music that has a beat is more motivating than if you put yourself music that is going to go like, okay, I really don't want to be here right now. But even if you just do this, it's better than nothing. Okay? I'm thinking that if you were in a wheelchair, they have specific machines for doing the cardiovascular exercise with your arms. I'm thinking that maybe this one can be put up in a table, and then you move it with your arms. Okay, so I'm going to show you that this thing has a little computer here. I don't know how clear that is to you. But as you press the button, some of the data changes, and then you can have an idea of things that you're doing, so you can have goals. This button here, let me get a little closer, has distance, approximately how many calories you use, He has miles, how many miles you've been putting on, and he records them. It has an RPM, revolutions per minute. It says it has a scan and the time. So right there it said for the time, it says 8:14. Anyway, so that's just some way of having, now here a little bit higher. This one, you can adjust the resistance. It has that little arrow and it will tell you how much resistance you have. My dad had it at a 3 because he has multiple myeloma. All of his bones have tumors, so it's painful for him, but this is one thing that he uses. This is a bike that they bought. I think it cost them like $100, maybe $150, I don't know. But it's nice because it has a support. It also has this that you can adjust. And here it has a knob that you can adjust it to make it longer or smaller. This one is set for a very short person that comes to my classes. And so she would sit here and would use it. I like it because it has the back support. This one has a fancy computer. Has a start button. It has a fan. So if you get too hot, it has a fan. So you put batteries inside here. And then it tells you your resistance, up and down, so how much work you want to put. And these things are kind of nice because they are heart rate sensors. So as you put your hands in there when you are riding your bike, it's going to record your pulse. But you will have to be sitting down and grabbing it, right? In order for it to record. So if you want to go a little fancier, this is an excellent bike. I used to have one that I bought at a Kmart a long time ago, and I gave it away to a lady that needed it more than I did, because then I started teaching classes at the gym and I just didn't have time to exercise at home. I was always exercising at the gym. If you have never been to a gym where you take a cycling class like spinning, RPM, Balamia, stages, Schwinn, Real Rider, Joni G's the new bike that the creator of spinning had. I have a towel that has the stages on it. I have 2 certifications by spinning and by Schwinn. And I learn a lot of RPM when I work at Gold's Gym because they use the meals a lot. So, but if you have never been to a class where you get the whole experience of being on a bike and you're not interested in that, you don't have to do it. But you can watch a few videos online as to how they teach those classes, because those classes are very motivating. Sometimes you might go to class and you will feel like you have absolutely no energy, and you leave that place sweaty and with energy and feeling great. So cycling, in my opinion, is the best exercise for cardio aside from walking and running and swimming. But running is more of a high impact on the knees. So some people can't run. Cycling is used a lot for rehabilitation. If you had knee problems and surgeries and replacements, they will always do some exercises that are like cycling, maybe those bikes are perfect for that. If you're a little more ambitious, then you want to get a spinning bike. A long time ago, the bike, I don't know if it's my right or my left, but the small bike was the new bike. It's good. It's a good bike. And then the other bike was the latest bike. Later they came with the Blaze, and then later the Blade, and then they came with other bikes. So they're always improving, of course. I still absolutely love those bikes. Some people complain that the seats are not very comfortable, and it's true. But what happens is the more you use them, the more comfortable they get. Okay, so this is a computer for this small bike. Nothing fancy. It shows you distance, it shows you speed, it shows you the time, so you know how much time you are on the bike. And it shows you calories, which is just an estimation. The calories are not going to be perfect because they're estimated probably on a 20-year-old man, you know. So if you want more accurate calorie burning, wear a real heart rate monitor that is being for your body and your age and your everything. This spinning computer is an older one. It's not as old as the ones I used to use before, but it's older. They probably have better computers now. At the top, it will show you your RPMs, how fast you're going, how many revolutions per minute the wheel is doing. In the middle, if you have a heart rate monitor, even bipolar, it will record right here. I had a Fitbit, and I think the Fitbit also records here. And this one tells you the time. As you move here, it will tell you your distance, your calories, and your time. This is the light. It doesn't stay on very long to preserve battery. This will be your heart rate. It will show it, you know, as it is at the moment. Anyway, right now it's not going to work because we're not pedaling or we don't have a heart rate monitor. But these bikes are really cool. They're very easy to ride. This is the most important piece of equipment on these bikes, is your brake, and it's also your resistance. This grabs the flywheel, and then it gives you more power on your workout. So here are a few ideas when you get on a ride. There are different things you can do on a bike. You can sit on it and pedal normal, and that would be just called sit down, easy road going. Seated. You can go fast legs, resistance fast legs, or you can take the resistance off, fast legs. You can do about 80 RPMs and just have the resistance not be very heavy. When you're at 80 RPMs and you feel the wheel grabbed, then you can stand and you can sit. You can, if you stand up, it's called jogging or running, so you can do that. If you stand up and sit back and stand up and sit back, that's called jumps. So you can do jumps on the bike, up, bum, 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 sit down, do. If you grab the bike a little further out, it's a different hand position. So you have like hand position 1, then you have hand position 2, it's open, and then hand position 3 is all the way open to the front of the handlebar. The last one, the third position on your hands, is mostly used when you're doing climbs. Now, climbs can be with heavy resistance, or it can be with lighter resistance and faster legs. So you work the muscles in so many different ways as you're doing a cycling ride. If you only use a small one like the one my dad bought, you can still be creative with your workouts. You can say, okay, no resistance, one song, and then change the song beat. Low resistance, fast legs, and then change to another song. Put a lot of resistance and say, okay, I'm gonna do 20 pedal strokes, and then I'm gonna take resistance off, and 20 pedal strokes. Then I'm gonna put resistance back on and do another 20 pedal strokes, changing, so that you're not doing the same. You can do, okay, I'm gonna do 80 RPMs for the whole time I'm on this equipment. So the speed is going to be exactly the same the whole time, but you can change the resistance. And so going 80 at high resistance is going to be harder. And if you take resistance of, hopefully not all the resistance, because then your legs are just going easy. You always have to have resistance on these bikes. But these are the best exercise equipment that I have found for my cardiovascular training. I love Zumba, and I love, anything that has to do with dancing. I love step. Step has never hurt my knees. Other things have hurt my knees. Biking has never, ever, ever hurt my knees. So biking is something that you can do for the rest of your life. Teaching cycling at a gym, I had people that were in their 70s, and they always came to class. And it was so much fun to have them because they didn't hurt. They weren't afraid to fall. They weren't afraid to be kicked out of the trail. So cycling is probably the best exercise that you are going to find if you can stand being inside. Some people don't like it because they're bikes that don't take you anywhere. To me, they're control. I can control it. The bike doesn't tell me what to do. I tell the bike what it is that I want to do. And it doesn't matter if it's cold, if it's icy, if it's raining, if it's too hot. Doesn't matter. I can use it when I want to. I'm a creature of habit. I like to do my exercise pretty much at the same time every day so that I know it happens. If I don't do it every day at the same time, I know other things get on the way and then it just didn't happen. So having a schedule and saying, okay, these days I'm doing this and these other days I'm doing that, it always helps. I want to show you just a little record that I started keeping. I just decided, okay, I'm going to keep record of things that I'm doing. So this is something that I've been working on. So as you can see, my first 3 rides that I recorded in this page were just like 30 minutes long, but because it's how much time I had, and it tells me how many calories more or less I burned and what the distance was. Well, then you can see that one whole week I said I'm going to do 10 miles. So I did in the distance, you see the 10 miles every time. But depending on my average, which is listed right there, it will tell you if I went just fast legs or if I went with a lot of resistance that day. So some took me longer than others. One ride took me 40 minutes to complete 10 miles, and others took me just 30 minutes to complete 10 miles, 29 minutes and 44 seconds. And so my next week is going to be 15 miles, and then my next week is going to be 20 miles for 100 miles in 1 week. We've done rides that are challenge rides. We did one with a friend in Illinois. She led that one, and it was a 60-mile ride. So it was like, as soon as you hit 60, if you want to leave, you can leave. So we did 60 miles. I led one that was a 3-hour ride, and we had 1-minute climb, 2-minute climb, 3-minute climb, 4-minute climb, with things in between each one. So we got all the way to 10-minute climb, and then 9-minute climb, and then something in between, 8-minute climb, something in between. So it was really fun. It was fun also finding the music, because I like to have that specific music with the tempo for the time that we were doing it. So it was really, really cool. 3-hour ride. People took breaks, people ate, people went to the bathroom, people came back to the bike, but the class just kept going. And then we had another ride that was on the 4th of July, and this guy led the ride with songs of the United States of America. And he put them in an order where you were going all the way from one coast to the other coast. And it was pretty fun. I like to create my rides with themes. So I find music with themes. For example, I created a playlist. I'm giving all my secrets away here. I created a playlist where it was castles. So I had the Castle on the Hill, Battlefield, Money, 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 Cinderella, songs like that. And then I had one that was called Numbers. It started with the silly song in the year 2020, 2525, that only my old participants knew that song. 409, 99 red balloons, 1, 2, 3, 4 by the plain white shirts. It only takes a minute, girl. 4 minutes, grade 8. You find different songs that have to do with numbers. I had colors. So all the songs had to do with colors. I even had the Hazel Eyes song. Then I had another ride that had to do with food. So everything had food in it. Another one was Animals. A Horse with No Name is a really good song for a climb. Teddy Bear by Elvis Presley. So you find a whole bunch of different themes that you can do, and so you have fun creating your music, or you just play whatever music you want. If you have an Alexa, you can ask Alexa to play all your favorite songs while you ride your bike. I hope this is helpful and it motivates you to do some cardiovascular exercises. You can buy these bikes really cheap. So save up your money and get one of them and use it at home. Have a wonderful day.